Hey drummers, this song was suggested over on my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how to play the song Resistance by Muse, drummed by Dom the drumming dynamo Howard. Let's check out what's coming up. So just so you know, in this free drum lesson, I've also got the free, fully transcribed drum chart for the song, all 4 pages of the song, every beat, every fill. And you can download this from our website for free. You'll find a link beneath this video. So you might want to have this stuff printed out in front of you as we go through this together. Hopefully it's going to make things a little bit easier for you to understand. So we start off with the drums coming in at 46 seconds. And I've written here at the top, there are overdubs throughout. So this is my interpretation combining how Dom plays it live with the recording. And I'll get to the section where it's definitely overdubbed in a moment, where the snare drum comes in. It'll be obvious. The toms are sort of overdubbed. So when you watch Dom play it live, he's not able to replicate exactly what's on the recording. So this is, again, my interpretation of how you'd sort of play it live, make it sound like the recording as much as possible. So we start off on the high tom, and this song involves all 3 toms, and I'm going to use my highest tom here. And we're just going to play lightly 16th notes with a bass drum underneath on all 4 quarter notes. 1 E-ander, 2 E-ander, 3 E-ander, 4 E-ander. On top of that, what Dom does is he plays his 2-bar pattern with accents, starting with the accents on the and and the of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, E-ander. The second bar is the same, except we also get 2 accents on the and the of 3. 1, 2, 3, and a 4, and a 1. Put the 2 together. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1, 2, 3, and a 4, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1, 2, 3, and a 4, and a 1, 2. That's the pattern getting played at the beginning. That gets repeated for 3 lines. The 4th line, however, in bar 2, we get this crescendo starting on the and of beat 3, where that accent would normally fall. We get 1, 2, 3, and a 4, and a. And we get this build up of accents. 1, 2, 3, and a 4, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And we come in with the snare drum now. So we're going to come off the high tom to play the snare drum on beats 2 and 4. And also notice the bass drum stops playing on quarter notes. I accidentally did it there. We're actually just playing bass drum on beats 1 and 3. So it's a double-handed hi-hat thing, but up on the tom. Again, keep the toms low and quiet. That's the key here. You don't want to be playing, because then when the accents come in, you're not going to hear them. Speaking of which, we go on to the next line. But before I do, let me play for you. I'll go back a bit. I'm going to play the first 2 lines of the song, the intro, so you can hear those tom effects without a microphone on, just the drums. Here we go. So continuing on to verse 1, we're staying on the high tom, we're still playing the same pattern. But guess what? We're going to add in those accents around the snare drum bat beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1, 2, 3, and a 4, and a. So once you get this, we get these accents straight into the snare drum on the and of 3 into beat 4. By the way, this is the part where there's definitely overdubbed toms. You can hear him moving around various toms while this part is still being played. So this is how he plays it live. He plays it on the 1 tom and he incorporates the accents into the snare drum part and doesn't worry about the melodic tom part so much, well, he doesn't at all. So this is how I would do it, this is how Dom plays it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1, 2, 3, and a 4, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1, 2, 3, and a 4, and a 1. Really good fun. Let me now play that up to speed for you. I'm going to play the last line of the intro into the first line of verse 1 so we can hear how we go from those two different tom beats into one another. Here we go. So that new pattern gets played for 3 lines, and then the 4th line, we get the first bar 1, 2, 3, 4, and oh. But then for the second bar, it's just 2 bars on that line, 1, 2, and then we get and a 3E and a 4E and a. So all accented there, no bass drum beat through, although you could accidentally if you wanted to. And the reason I'm using these toms in front of me is because we're then going to go straight into the snare drum. That sometimes happens. Straight into the snare drum on beat 1. So we get 1E and a 2E, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1 and 2 and 3. So we get this right, this is how I would play it, right, right, right. So your right hand plays 1 and 2, and the crash on the and a beat 1 there, snare drum on both beats 1 and 2. And from beat 2, we're going to go into the double-handed hi-hat part. 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. So we get from the tom part, 1, 2, and a 3E and a 4E and a 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3. So that double-handed hi-hat part starts strangely, but then it settles in. So we get that 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. And then you can see that pattern gets repeated for bars 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. So every 2 bars we got this offbeat and a 4 and the and a beat 1 into the next bar. So that pattern gets played for the second line as well, but then bar 4 we get this little drum fill. 1E and a 2E and, open hi-hat, 1E and a 2 and then 3E and a 4E and. And I've written it as the high tom, but I'm going to use that tom because it's the easier one for me to play. 3E and a 4E and. That's going to be a little bit strange because you've got an offbeat crash on the and a beat 4. We're then going to go back to 1 and 2 and 3. So nothing falling on beat 1 there. So here's what I would do, create a little loop, trying to get tangled up here. Let's play the last bar of page 1. 1, 2 and 3 and a 4E and 1 and 2 and 3. 1, 2 and 3 and a 4E and 1 and 2 and 3. I'm playing the hi-hat on beat 1 but not the bass drum. And what I did there accidentally is I came back in with the hi-hat with the bass drum on the and a beat 1 in the next bar. You could do that as well. The crash cymbal's ringing out, no one's going to miss those hi-hat notes. But on the recording, Dom does actually play the 1E on the hi-hat as well. So then we go on, and now the 2-bar pattern changes where Dom opens the hi-hat on the and of 4 and the and of 1 every 2 bars. So the first line, 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. And I've written a gap on the and where the hi-hat opens. But what I tend to do, and what most drummers do, and probably including Dom, is you just tend to play 16th notes constantly, and then you just lightly tap the hi-hat with your left hand when it's open, so you get this effect. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. You're not really hearing that hi-hat being struck when it's open, so that's probably how you would play it. That new pattern gets played again for both lines. But then bar 3 to bar 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1, just a subtle and 1. Then we're going to go to the 2 toms, 1 and 2 and 3. That, by the way, that hi-hat foot's where the hi-hat closes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Into a flam on 4 and 1. We're then going to go into the chorus. So 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 into our chorus. Shh. So let me now play for you, let's go from the end of verse 1, the last line, and then the whole of bridge 1, so both pages there, up to speed. So chorus 1, we're up on the right cymbal, the patterns simplify. We just get 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, simple as that. Bar 4, however, we get the fuddle-a-dump played on the toms. 1 and 2 and 3, and to 3, and our bass drum there is beat 3. So we get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Really good fun to play that. We play bars 3 and 4 together. And to the 1 and to the 3 and in this case. Next line goes straight to bar 2. We get this big drum fill. 1 and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. So 4, 4, 4, and then the last tom just 2. 1 and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1 and 2, 3 and into our groove again. The next line, line 3, bar 2, we get 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and a 1, a little subtle and a 1. We then get bar 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and floor tom snare drum on the ands of 3 and 4 with the bass drum in the middle. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Bar 4 is cool because it ends with this drum fill that leads us into the flam on the next line. 1 and 2 and 3 and, but then we get, and I've written for this tom, I'm going to use this tom instead, 4E and a 1, a little linear idea, right, left, right, bass, snare. Lovely little idea that. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4E and a 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. So really sort of melodic idea there, doing all the ands. Let me create a few loops for you. So bar 2, 3 and 4, and then the next line, I'll loop that around a couple of times. We get 1 and 2, 3 and 4, and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and a 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. A bit faster, then I'll play up to speed for you. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And sorry, start from that bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. It then gets the next two bars are rested and we come back in with a single snare drum on beat 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and we're back to that groove for the next line. So let me now play for you all 4 lines of chorus 1 up to speed. Okay, bridge 2, we're back to our tom groove as I said. Line 2 the same. Bar 4, however, we got this drum fill. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1. We come off the tom on the of 3. 3E and a 4 and a We're then going to go into our 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1, 2, 3, and a 4, and a 1 groove. So that last bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1, 2, 3, and a 4, and a 1. Nice little subtle crossover there into verse 2. Verse 2 is the same as our previous verse. Verse 2 continued, comes out exactly the same way. Bridge 3 is the same start. That thing again. Line 2, bar 4, has a slightly different drum fill this time. He plays 1 and 2 E and 1 and 2 E and 2 E and a 4 E. That bit's the same though, but we get the 2 E and, so slightly different there. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, and it hesitated there on the hi-hat. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1. Slight difference there with an extra little open hi-hat thing going on. We come out of bridge 3 exactly the same as our previous bridge. Chorus 2 is exactly the same up to the 3rd line. Bar 4 actually is the same, I think. Yeah, bar 3 is the same as our previous chorus, chorus. But then we just repeat that idea for bar 4. With a crash cymbal at the beginning of each bar. So we get that played 3 times, and then the last bar of the page is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And does it stop there? Because we're going to go into the drum solos, aren't we? Yeah, so we get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to go into our drum solos, which we'll do now. So we get a crash cymbal on beat 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stepped hi-hat on beat 4, you could miss it out, but it's really there for the rest of the band to keep in time. Then we get this drum fill. A little hi-hat buck, 1 E and 2 E and. It's a bit weird for me crossing over like that, but your toms would be like a bit more in front of you. 1 E and 2 E and, then 3 E and a 4 E and go down the toms like that. So we get the next drum fill is a bit trickier. We get 1, 2, 3, 4. Starts with the bass drum. 1 E and a 2. So we get this little hurter idea on the E of beat 1. The rest of it's just 16th notes, however. Round the toms like that. We're then going to go into the last really cool groove, I think the coolest groove of the song, which is played on the toms. Now, I've written here that Dom is stepping his hi-hat foot on 8th notes underneath. That's an optional thing. It just certainly makes it look a lot more tricky. If you want to leave out the hi-hat foot, that's absolutely fine. Let me teach it for you without the hi-hat foot, because that's sort of something you just add on top once you're comfortable with it. So we're playing this pattern. 1 E and a 2 E. Right, left, right, bass, bass. And the bass drum's on beat 1 as well. 1 E and a 2 E. Then we come up to these 2 toms and we get and a 3 E and a 4. Right, left foot, left, right. It goes up the toms, then down the toms. You can hear it on the recording. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. And the pattern repeats. So very linear. There's only one note that falls with the right hand. That's beat 1 on the bass drum on floor tom, and then of course the snare drum on floor tom as well. The rest of it, that bass drums are filling in the gap. Really good fun once you get it. Of course, going from the drum solo into that section requires a little bit of practice, but let me show you now what it sounds like played up to speed, hopefully correctly. So both lines of the drum solo, and then let's say the first line of bridge 4. Here we go. So that tom groove gets played for 4 lines. The last line, 4th line, is exactly the same up to beat 4. Instead of playing 4E and a 1, we play 4E and a, 4E and a. Then we're going to get this very Dave Grohl type drum fill. 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a 4. You can imagine it being exactly the same, except instead of the open hi-hat, we're going to play the floor tom. The bass drum's playing on the upbeats, the E's and the E's. 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4 and 1, up to the crash cymbal. So we get 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a, 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4 and 1. So you can hear there that opening the hi-hat, stepping the hi-hat, makes this even trickier. I'll play it up to speed for you in a moment. The outro, very simple. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and lowest tom and snare drum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We just repeat those 2 bars again. Bars 1 and 2 are the same as each other. Bar 3 though, we get this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And the song ends. So before we finish, let me now play for you the last line of bridge 4 and then the whole of the outro. Here we go. So I hope you found that useful, found it interesting. Don't forget you can download all 4 pages of the PDF from my website for free. There's a link beneath this video, as I say. You can email me, rob@drumstheword.com, if you've got any questions. And you might want to consider signing up to become an online member over at the website if you haven't done so already. And what I currently offer for £97 is a full year's online access to every single full video song lesson I've ever recorded and transcribed. And that's coming up to 750 famous and popular songs where, just like this lesson, I teach you the song from start to finish. You get the fully transcribed PDF drum chart. And I've probably got now coming up to 15 Muse songs up on the website. So if you're a Dominic Howard fan, there is tons of stuff to get your teeth stuck into already. As a thank you for signing up, I'll give you access to 3 ebooks I've written over the years containing hundreds of famous drum beats, fills and even drum solos. I'll give you access to hundreds more videos containing hundreds more famous drum beats, fills and drum solos. And then over the year of your subscription, you also gain instant online access to all the new material that I upload for my members. And I record new lessons every week unless I'm ill or on holiday. So plenty of cool stuff to look forward to over the year of your subscription. But if you've got any questions about any of that, then feel free to email me, rob@drumstheword.com. And until our next drum lesson together, toodle pip and happy drumming to you.